Good evening and welcome to the April 18th Northampton County Council meeting. Mr. Gaffredo, would you lead us in the pledge? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Ms. Simba, will you call the roll?
Mr. Brown.
Present.
Mr. Capora.
Here.
Mr. Giovanni.
Here.
Mr. Goffredo.
Here.
Mr. Heckman.
Here.
Ms. Keegan. Here. Mr. Kraft.
Here.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Here.
Mr. Warren.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 4th,
I'll make that
2024?
motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. We have courtesy of the floor. I have two people that are signed up. There's 5 minutes per person. First, we have, please come forward and state your name and your place of residence. First, I have Joe Walsh, Welsh, sorry. Joe Walsh is no longer with us, I apologize. Neither is Dickie Betts, God rest his soul.
Yes, and you don't want to hear me sing, I'm sure. Joe Welsh, Lehigh Valley Justice Institute. Our Northampton County office is at 511 East 3rd Street in Bethlehem. I am a resident, proud resident, as Mayor Panzo will be happy to hear, of the city of Easton. I just came tonight briefly to tell you about an interesting event that we have coming up that's sponsored by the Justice Institute as well as the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District. And it's a reentry simulation. And I have a flyer on it, which I'll give to the clerk, if I may, to distribute to the council members. This is going to take place on Tuesday, May 14th, in the afternoon from 1 to 4 at the Executive Education Building, which some of the people on the council here that look like me might remember way back when as the Western Electric Plant on Union Boulevard. What the simulation is, participants are walked through what it's like to come out of jail and re-enter the community, and all of the various things that you have to do to successfully re-enter. And the way the simulation works, we take you through 4 weeks of re-entry. Each week is 20 minutes long, and you have a list of 5 things that you need to accomplish in those 20 minutes. And you do that by going to various tables around the auditorium where this is taking place, and either paying money or doing some task or whatever that needs to be accomplished to do things like get your ID, seek employment, find housing, all of those kind of things. It really drives home the point of how complicated the process of reentry is. Now, we did one of these last spring out at Northampton Community College. A group from Franklin County came in and did it. This time, the United States Attorney's Office is doing a nationally modeled one that DOJ, Department of Justice, does. If you go to our website, www.lvji.org, we have a page dedicated to the reentry simulation that we did, and you can see how it ran last year when we did it. Some of our participants last year included Superior Court President Judge Jack Piniella, who played the child of one of the Lehigh County commissioners, and he ended up being scarfed up by children and youth during the simulation. We also had the law clerks for Judges Corey and Murray as participants, and the 2 judges came as observers. So we've attracted interest in the past. It's something that I would really encourage you to participate in, if at all possible. I think every policymaker for both of the counties should at some point do one of these simulations so that you really can feel in your gut what pressures we're putting on people who are already in compromised situations to be able to reintegrate and turn their lives around. So I encourage you to participate if you can. On this flyer, there is a QR code, and if you hit that, it will take you right to the registration page. And I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Next, we have Chris Ellis, SEIU 668.
Hello. Second, I don't know who I would give this to be handed out to all of you.
Just,
What's that? There should be 9 copies,
start
I
down, we'll
believe,
pass
but,
it down.
okay. And then obviously I'll get a copy for the county executive. Thank you all very much for allowing me to speak. My name is Christopher Ellis. I am the business agent that is doing the negotiations with SEIU 668, covering the human services. As you can see, there are a bunch of them who were able to either get off from their second jobs or were able to come and be away from their families and be here tonight just to show you what it means to them that we've been going through negotiations, and we have negotiations again on April 24th. And I just wanted to, for the public and the rest of you, just read a petition that we sent. We have over 100 signatures. I can make copies and present that to all of you if you want, of the members. We, the members of SEIU 668, working in the Northampton County Department of Human Services, are committed to fostering a community where all residents can live safe, healthy, and independent lives, free from abuse, discrimination, and inequity. Our vision encompasses providing preventive and protective services to residents of all ages and backgrounds across socioeconomic classes, races, and cultures. We believe that every resident should have the opportunity to achieve well-being and independence through services and opportunities that protect, empower, respect choice, and preserve dignity. Our department encompasses vital services such as children and youth and family services, aging, mental health, drug and alcohol support, early intervention, developmental programs, and information and referral emergency services. As dedicated employees of Northampton County, we are deeply committed to bettering the lives of our residents and building a strong community. The Northampton County Department of Human Service members take their commitment to serving the community very seriously. However, we are deeply concerned about the disparity between our wages and the rising cost of living. County Executive Lamont McClure acknowledged in the March 2024 edition of the Northampton County newsletter that stagnant wages are making it increasingly difficult for middle to lower income workers to afford housing in our region. This issue affects our current workforce and our department's ability to retain qualified staff and fill double-digit vacancies, exacerbating caseloads and workload issues. Staff turnover has become a consistent problem across multiple county agencies. For the residents of Northampton County, this could result in difficulty accessing services, inadequate outreach, inadequate protection of our most vulnerable populations, and overwhelmed caseworkers. The Department of Human Services needs workers to deliver effective services to the community and residents of Northampton County. This is why SEIU union members are disappointed in Northampton County's bargaining team's decision to provide a last, best, and final offer that offers a 2-load wage increase combined with raising healthcare costs for our members, who already pay the highest percentage among unionized Northampton County workers. It is crucial that we settle a union contract that addresses these issues and ensures the continued provision of quality services for Northampton County residents as soon as possible. We invite you to join us at our April 24th negotiation session to hear from workers and collaborate on a meaningful agreement that prioritizes these issues and protects services for our Northampton County residents. That last portion is for Mr. McClure, obviously, since we are negotiating with the county executive, but as you are co-equal branch, we wanted to come and express our concerns and also our view, and we look forward to serving with Northampton County hand in hand. Thank you very much for your time.
Mr. Ellis, if there's anything you want copied to hand out to council, you can give it to our staff on, and they'll make sure that we get anything else you want us to see. Thank you.
And got just an extra copy for him then?
Sure, they'll be happy to do that.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to courtesy of the floor? Seeing and hearing none. Mr. McClure, do you have a report?
Madam President, I suggest the necessity for an executive session to discuss 2 pending items of litigation.
We have to make a motion to do that? Or? Yeah, I make the motion. Second. Call of. Who made the motion? Mr. Kraft. You have to call the vote. You need a vote. At 6:42 p.m.
Need a vote?
Calling for the vote.
Okay. Mr. Kraft? Yes. Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan? Yes. Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Brown? Yes. Motion passes by a vote of 9-0.
6:42 p.m. Speak.
Two
Two things, Mr. Wait.
things. For purposes of guardrails, we limit it to the stated motion of litigation, and there will be no notes. No notes, no pen.
Excuse me.
Need to make an announcement. It was in reference to litigation. No action was taken.
We're returning at 6:53 from an executive session, which was held for the purpose of discussion of potential litigation, and no action was taken.
May I continue with my report, Madam?
Yes, sir.
So this week is National Telecommunicators Week. When we call 911, we need to have a highly trained professional on the other end of that to help us save our lives, our houses, things of that nature. So one of the things I wanted to do, in addition to honoring our telecommunicators, I went to 911 this week, and I presented them with a proclamation and walked around and talked with them and thanked them for the work they do for us. But Todd Weaver wanted me to share with you their call volumes from 2023 so that we can all appreciate everything that's going on. They answered 120,935 911 calls, and they handled 305,317 non-emergency calls. The incidents handled, EMS calls, ambulance, 48,570. Fire calls, 17,727. And law enforcement calls, 219,563 calls. So that's the kind of work our folks do out there. And, if you see a telecommunicator this week, please give them your regards. Elections report. Sure, go ahead.
I know, we probably don't parse this out, but is there any way they know how many of these calls would have been like drug abuse or drug overdose related, or they probably wouldn't know, they're just dispatching the police?
Well, so
I'm wondering how things are.
there's lots of information that is input into the system. But I don't think that reports are run for public dissemination because they're not subject to right to know.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because, you know, you have our Narcan campaign, and if we were seeing anything, but.
So I'll ask Todd to take a look at that issue, and next time Todd comes here, he can tell you about it. Okay. Anybody else on 911? The elections report. These are the current absentee mail-in ballot numbers. Applications, 26,646. For those keeping track at home, the Democratic number is 19,786. The Republican number is 6,860. Ballots returned so far, 10,456, 764 Democratic, 2692 Republican. Requesting an absentee mail-in ballot and in-person on-demand ballot ended this past Tuesday, 4/16 at 5 p.m. With the election 5 days away, we urge any voter who wishes to return their absentee mail-in ballot and ensure that it is counted to consider dropping it off in person to the elections office or into one of the 7 drop boxes across Northampton County. In order for any absentee mail-in ballot to count, it must be received in the elections office by 8 p.m. on Election Day, April 23rd. Postmarks from the USPS do not count. The election office is available as follows: Friday, April 19th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday, April 22nd from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Tuesday, April 23rd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The drop box availability and location information can be found on the front page of the Elections Division website. We are keeping track of drop box usage. After the primary election and the dust clears, I'll give you a report. But preliminarily, the most, by far, the most used drop box is at the Human Services Building. And it's not even close. That's the one that is absolutely the most popular place to drop off ballots. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because it is the one closest to the center of our population in the county. Finally, I'm not going to negotiate in public, but I want to acknowledge the folks here tonight, and especially from DHS, who are represented by SEIU. These are good people who do hard jobs and do them well, and I see them and appreciate them, and I am sure that we'll get an agreement done in the near future. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. McClure?
Follow-up. He's right. I mean, that this is a negotiation process with the administration, and in our role as legislators, it would be improper to discuss your negotiations. I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you.
We're not ignoring you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Moving into old business, we have a public hearing of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance by Northampton County Council concurring with the City of Easton and the Easton Area School District and providing for property tax exemption for certain deteriorated property as defined in the City of Easton Resolution Number 121-2023 pursuant to Act 76 of 1977 of the General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as amended and agreeing with the amendment to Chapter 531 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Easton entitled Tax Abatements." Mr. Giovanni and Kraft introduced this ordinance at the April 4th, 2024 meeting. After the introduction of the ordinance, the Department of Community and Economic Development received an email from Mr. John Kingsley requesting a change to a lot and block number in Exhibit B, which is as follows. The property in question is 40 South 6th Street, and we would simply be asking to change the lot and block number from L9SE2A 2016 to L9SE2A 2018. As discussed with Merrick, the reason this is an issue is several properties in this block were consolidated to allow for this project. In doing so, they maintained the appropriate address, but the effective parcel ID changed. So I'd like a motion to accept the amended Exhibit B.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Warren, Mr. Kraft is the second. Is there any discussion on this motion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft? Yes. Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Mr. Heckman? Yes. Ms. Keegan? Yes. Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Kapura?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote of 9-0.
Thank you. So are there any questions or comments from the public regarding this ordinance? Any discussion from council? Mr. Heckman, excuse me.
I wrote it down at home and I don't have it, so I think the Shiloh Baptist Church, that's affordable housing they want to do. Is that the chair? Is that the only one that's working affordable housing?
I think so.
Well, which ones of these are affordable housing? 2 Square isn't. That's per own or whatever, who wants to build his apartments. But which is the?
Mr. Panto, if you want to answer the questions, if you're able, or do you need me?
No, the affordable housing is a good question. Affordable housing is Shiloh is doing 2 projects, one on Canal Street and one over on Phillips and Charles Street.
Okay,
Those are both the
they're the
2.
ones that are doing the affordable housing. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Tough break habit. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Warren.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to just make a comment with regard to the fact that I was on Easton City Council when the Lerda District was established back in 2012. And I have to say that because of that work that the administration had done and City Council did at that time, it's one of the reasons why we've seen the revitalization of the city of Easton, quite frankly, because of the Lerda. Other factors, of course, as well. Just a very well-run city with the mayor and also with the city administrators over that time as well. So I am very much in support of this. And again, you know, we had 925 properties, Mayor, I think, back in 2012 when we voted on this. So I'm looking forward to supporting this, and it's going to be some good stuff for the city of Easton here.
Any other discussion or questions?
I guess what I'd like, I want to support the Shiloh Church. And I don't know if I can break that out. After we had the huge discussions on the last LRTA, and it became very political, I don't think, and if I were the mayor, I'd be here and I'd be doing exactly what Mayor Panto's doing. I don't blame that one bit. The county's changed. We're the fastest growing county in the state. And we're going to continue to be probably for the next 20 years, according to Census Bureau. I always use the U.S. Census Bureau for things. And as our salaries are going up, the apartment, the available housing is lacked, but what's being built is basically unaffordable for most residents. And I've come to the conclusion that Easton, being the closest major municipality to New York, we've become a bedroom community, whether we like it or not. I can't, in good conscience anymore, give any kind of tax abatements or help to private enterprises. I came to that decision after reflecting on the disaster up in Upper Mount Bethel. So, because if they don't do it, someone else will. It's just a personal belief right now. I don't think that there are certain exceptions. That's why I pick on Shiloh. We need affordable housing. There's no question about it. Whether we need more unaffordable apartments, that's open to discussion. And I understand people have said to me, but you don't get it. I do. I'm not a Milton Friedman economic, moneyist, Reaganomic kind of guy. I don't see a lot of this stuff filtering down to the average citizen. I haven't seen anything like that yet. I've seen it gotten worse. So I will support the Shiloh Baptist Church of Easton, and I want to know if that can be broken out.
Well, can I
And if
ask
it
you a
can't, then
clarifying
fine.
question first?
No.
It seems like there's a lot of properties here. There's the previously approved as well as the recommended. So is it that you want to just vote for the one and break them all out separately? Or is there one that you don't want to vote for? And would that be easier for you to break that out?
You know what?
Rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater?
I think that's fair to say baby with bathwater. I think that right now, I'm very supportive of any efforts for affordable housing, and it's not just Easton, anywhere in the county. I'm not in favor of any kind of tax breaks or anything. Maybe a municipalities here or there, Walnutport, but anywhere near close to up near the New York or Northern New Jersey, I can't support. So I think it has more than enough support on council without me. But don't break it out. It's okay. It's okay. I'll vote on the entire package.
All right, well, you have the right to make that request. They have the right to say if you can or not, but
I don't want to hold things up.
no.
Certainly can't do it.
Asked and answered, okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft.
Yes.
Mr.
Excuse
Gofredo.
me, I'm supposed to say as amended. I apologize.
Way to go.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Mr. Heckman.
No.
Ms. Keegan.
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Kapura.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8 to 1.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sal.
Next, we have new business. The introduction,
We have old business yet?
I don't have any old
You
business.
didn't call if there's any other old business to bring up?
Is there any other old business?
Yeah, I'd like to bring something up. I'd like to bring up the council clerk's position, and I'd like to ask why this council as a body did not vote on the procedures for replacing the council clerk. It's our position, there's 9 members here, and we're supposed to have a vote of majority to vote for the council clerk. And did I miss a vote? Or did I miss a vote on the procedure? Or did I miss something?
I stated the procedure several meetings ago that I would be having the job posted and using HR to do that. At this point, I got resumes back last week. The committee hasn't even seen the resumes yet. Apparently, other people have. And that when we are ready to have a vote on the position, we will. But we haven't even gone through the applications. We haven't even set up the interviews. And it's an internal personnel matter. It's not public like a county council position. So I would like the opportunity to be able to do the position privately and professionally until we're ready to release everything to council. And then, of course, council can see all the applications, and then they're all going to vote. But when we did the deputy, that's the process we used, and that's the same process I used. And I brought it up, and there were no objections at the time that I brought it up.
I don't believe you brought it up succinctly. The other question I have is the actual job description has changed. Does anybody here on council know that the job description has changed, and who changed the job description?
We reviewed the job description and gave it to HR.
No, we had a job description that was changed. There were words changed to change the job. Who changed the job description? Did the council vote as a
No,
body?
Personnel Committee did.
The Personnel Committee bring it to the council for a full vote?
No.
Am I missing something with the Home Rule Charter?
What do you want?
What I want is I think you should everybody should reapply, and these should be thrown out because it's a faulty application, because it's the wrong job description.
So, yes, sir.
What changed in the job description?
It's shall attend meetings and may attend meetings, or will attend meetings to may attend meetings. Now, it's not a massive change, and I'm not saying that I don't think it's a great idea and would have voted for it as a council to change the description of our job. But, you know, last I looked, we didn't elect a queen. We don't have people that can do this on their own. It takes a body of 9. It takes 5, as Mr. Heckman so eloquently spoke about last night for 15 minutes. It takes 5 of us to make a change. And that's a change to a description of a job that we hire. It's our personal hire.
Yes, sir.
Talking about babies and bathwater, I don't think anything's set in stone. I understand people have applied for the jobs, but we haven't had interviews. I think if we want to amend the description of the job before we made the selection, I think that could still be done. If you find it to be important, we could vote on that. But as far as the entire process up until this point, I don't think anything was done with malice. Is there anything here that can appease?
It was definitely done without the approval of county council. You need a vote of 9 members to change something like that. You need a vote of 9 members for a procedure. When we replaced the last clerk with Ms. Zembo, it has a certain way it goes. It's a county council position. We voted how we were going to do it.
What I'm trying to say is there anything we can do now to rectify what you're upset about so we don't have to drag this out any further? Because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I feel like we haven't gone very far in this process.
We haven't gone far because I think we have 22 applications and only 2 of them are effectively, good.
So, can I ask a question? How do you know that?
I just know it.
How do you know that?
So,
Because, no. How do you know that? Because the committee hasn't even seen the applications yet. So I have a great concern that a private personnel matter, you have information that nobody else here has.
well, you do.
Oh, yeah, we read
Well,
it
I
on
do.
the blog. We read it on the blog.
Well, somebody has it. So,
Reading something on the blog,
that-
he
I'm-
has
I'm-
applications that
I
he's
like your
saying 2 are
deflection.
qualified.
I like your
No, there's no
deflection from the
deflection.
question that's on the
Excuse me,
table.
I have the floor.
No, I have the floor, actually.
floor.
No,
I
actually,
took the
do.
floor. Thank you.
Oh, you took it. Okay, I see. You took it because
I did.
You're the queen and we're just your servants. Is that what it is?
Code of civility, thank you very much
Code
for
of-
the
yeah, Code of
compliment.
civility. If you put an application out with a job description that wasn't voted on by this body, it's not a valid application. If the job description changed and we didn't vote for that change, I don't care how minor it is, it's not valid. They applied for a job that doesn't exist. Am I wrong, Mr. Spadoni? Oh, you can ask Mr. Spadoni if I'm wrong.
This is the first time that I'm hearing. What precisely was the change?
Whoever changed it could tell you. It was, there's meetings, they shall attend meetings to may attend meetings. Certain meetings and bring the information back to council. They shall, and then it's may. So meetings that Linda had to go to, now they made it that, you can go to them if you want to bring back the information to council for us to do our job.
I think at the end of the day, I'm very sensitized to your comments, that any action has to be taken by council in reference to the hiring of myself or the clerk or the secretary, for that matter. And I think that needs to be done by proper motion, second, and vote.
And a job description change?
I think the will of council would control that you could hire somebody that didn't meet the job description.
Oh,
if
I
that's what you
understand. I'm
wanted.
not going there. I'm talking about a job description change to put out an application with a change description that nobody here on council voted for. That's what I'm talking about.
And I think there's 22 applications, and certainly there would be a pool of people to review that with. And I only know there's 22 applications from the blog.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them. In fact, I sent a memo out that I thought there needed to be protected information there.
And it's been very protected information.
Mr.
I'm
Heckman.
gonna wait my turn.
Go ahead, Ron.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that, I hear what Mr. Kraft's saying. I don't think we need to micromanage everything council does. And we did pass saying, look, this can get crazy if we vote on Mr. Goffredo change seats with Mr. Gapora. Did council approve that, or did the president say go ahead, or did they? But here's the thing. I want to make a motion that council, and we vote on it, council approves of the method and the job description as it's been done and put up, and the procedure to review as of today. That's my motion. If a majority of council agrees, this argument's mute.
I don't think you can make a motion of a job description that nobody saw or read.
You've seen it.
That's me.
I'm talking about the procedure. I can make a motion on a procedural matter. You vote no if you think the procedure's bad. Or, I don't know, take it to court. I mean,
Ron, would you restate that? I don't think you need to discuss it yet. I think you need to make the motion and have a second.
Oh, you're asking me to restate? that?
Yeah, so far I have council approves of the method and job description for council clerk as has been done as of today.
Yeah, as it's been performed, we can put in whatever language, if Chris wants to throw a legalese term in, that, you know, that a majority of council agrees with what's been done to this point. And you're right, we run on votes and a majority vote.
So is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Hold on, I have
He's making a
no
motion.
idea what's going on.
Well, I'll explain it. He just made a motion. I'm asking if there's a second. There's no item of business here. Mr. Kraft is bringing something up. Ron just made a formal motion. I'm asking if there's a second.
There was a second over here.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? Mr. Warren?
Thank you, Madam President. I am unaware of what is going on here. I received some correspondence from Mr. Spadoni recently, and I was like, what is happening here? I have been to, and Madam President, please correct me, I think a few minutes ago you said that this was discussed at a Personnel Committee meeting recently. I've been to every committee meeting thus far.
I said I discussed it on council. I didn't say personnel committee.
Oh, okay, I thought you said Personnel Committee, okay. I have no idea, I have not seen a thing thus far, and I know that our clerk is going to be retiring in June, correct? I have no idea what's going on. I'm not going to be voting for anything until I understand what the procedures are with this council to hire a position that is extremely important, not just to the way that this council is run in the future, but to the county in general, to our taxpayers. So I don't know about a job description at all. I'm very surprised because feel like I'm kept in the dark here with this.
Just to let you know, they are making copies of the job description to distribute right at this moment.
Okay.
So
So HR created the job description?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Are you asking? I'll answer.
Yes,
Yes. What happened is, prior to us posting, I was asked to review the job description to make sure that it was ready to post, because we have to post a job description that's accurate. I reviewed it with the staff, and we changed the word shall to may, based on what has been the practice to date of how Ms. Embo has performed. And because she hasn't really been forced to go to meetings, she has opted to, and we don't really ask her to attend meetings on her behalf. So in order to post it, I changed the word. So I am guilty of that without volunteering it to council, and it was done in the expediency of trying to get it posted for
Madam
the
President, I
purposes.
honestly was not even asking about the word. I was
No, but
asking
I-
about like the
Well,
procedure
wait,
of
let me
it.
finish. You asked
The
what I did,
procedure.
and I'm telling you the
Okay.
procedure. Because I, as president of council, was handling a personnel matter on behalf of council to be able to get us applications, to begin the process of interviewing for this position that she's retiring on June 7th. And I was trying to do it in a timely and expedient way.
can I just say something?
Yes, Ms.
I
Embo.
think there may be confusion about what meetings we're talking about. I have to attend council meetings. Any council meeting I have to attend. The May part came in to other meetings at other entities that I may attend them. So it's not that I don't have to attend any council meetings. Any council meeting, the clerk has to attend. So I think there might be the shall and the may, it's not referring to council meetings.
Really quick, I'm not even talking necessarily about that. Again, I have no idea. I've not seen this at all. Like, I think the procedure of, Madam President, I appreciate the initiative. I appreciate the initiative to go it alone, do it yourself. It's my hope that we, as a collective body, can make whatever changes we need to make in terms of this position. Again, that's extremely important for us and for the county. So I feel like I'm very in the dark with regard to
So I'm
this.
just going to restate for my own purposes that I stated to everyone at a meeting, this was what I was doing, that I was going to be putting this through HR, that the Personnel Committee would be reviewing applications, that we would be conducting interviews, and that we would present candidates subsequent to that to all the members of council. That when we hired Ms. Shafnisky, which was my last, I've been part of 3 processes. I was part of the hiring of Mr. Lott when there was a vacancy on council. I was part of Ms. Shafnisky's hire, which was a personnel internal matter, and I was part of Mr. Kapoor's process. When we did Ms. Shafnisky, it was private. I believe you were president at the time. It was myself as vice president, himself, and the personnel chair. And Linda was also part of it as well, since she would be supervising. We did that privately. All of council did not participate. All of council did not see every application. We broke them down. And then when we had final level interviews, it was made public to everybody. And we gave our recommendation. So when I get to a point where I feel like we can present something, or if we get to a point that we have 2 candidates and we need to invite other people, it was also my understanding, as per my solicitor, that I can't do something that violates the quorum rule, that I can only have so many people conduct the interviews, because if everybody does them, and it's not going to be here, and it's not going to be in public like a county council person who was elected. So I was trying to do some due diligence as president of council, who helps to supervise the office and get it moving forward. If you want to throw out that process and redo, I guess we can discuss it. And I'm not trying to not be transparent. What I was also trying to do is, we have an internal candidate. And so I'm trying to keep the applications private from them. And so only certain people saw them. I didn't even look at them till Monday. I reviewed quickly, and then I wanted the personnel committee to see them. If everybody else wants them after everybody on the committee has seen them, it's not a secret, but I don't know that you want to see everybody that we're not interviewing. If you do, we can discuss that. But that's my process. I was trying to keep it professional.
The only difference is you were here when you created Shafinsky's position. We didn't have that position before. You guys created that, and that's how that came across.
Did I recognize you?
Council.
I'm sorry, did I recognize you?
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
I recognize
Would you like to be recognized?
So anyway, you made a position up and did all that internally for somebody, for Linda. If Linda steps out, we have somebody, which was a good idea. I wasn't on council then. The other time that we had a clerk position, well, we had 2 clerks the whole time we've been a home rule charter. And when the last one left, we had meetings with county council as a whole, with who the applications were in the back room, because it's a personnel matter. And we debated who we were going to have, and we actually discussed it in the back, the 9 of us, under a personnel matter, because it's pretty private and personnel. And Mr. Belloni, you said that was correct procedure at the time for a personnel matter, discussing?
I don't recall that.
No, I mean, you weren't here for that, but you had said that that was a personnel matter, can be discussed by the full body in private.
You can discuss, you have to call for an executive session.
But the vote has to be done out here.
Yes.
Which is what we did. So my only thing is, I'm not against your May word, okay? I'm not against your procedures. I just think council should have voted for it as a whole. Council president's duty is to preside over the meeting. That's it in the home rule charter. We're all equals up here. Doesn't make you more, and I appreciate your initiative, like Jeff said, that you went out and did this, but I mean, you just announced at one meeting, yeah, we're going to do this, and the applications are out. I'm like, what? The applications are out? To me, it was like, okay. Yeah, you did bring it up in a council meeting, but you didn't bring it up for a vote. This is the procedure of what we're doing. Is everybody okay with it? It was just, this is what we're doing, and applications are coming in, and they were due like 3 days later. And this body as a whole should have known that. It was like the next week after the meeting.
They were given 10 full days, Ken. And again, like, if you had questions to ask, you could have asked them.
I'm asking them.
Now it's an indictment. So thank you for that, and I appreciate that. I also think that when you were president for the time that you were, which I think was about 6 months, you had the choice to run the office and the council the way that you did. Mr. Heckman ran it for 2 years. I ran it for 2 years prior. Our understanding was that we also helped to supervise the staff, and that when Linda needs to take a vacation or the other ladies, we handle it. She doesn't ask 9 people if I could go on vacation or if I could have sick leave, or, that's part of the president's job. So, I'm sorry if you want to articulate that in the Home Rule Charter, then please put an amendment through, and we will absolutely take care of that in the future to refine the duties of the president. But I'm trying to run an office here and support this woman's retirement, and I just don't understand. I was in a process with you that we got spanked for violating for the Sunshine Law and not being transparent, and I'm not going to do that with this job. It's a personnel matter, There's people that are on the personnel thing tonight to be approved. We're not privy to all those discussions and applications. Ron has a motion on the floor, and I'm ready to call the vote.
It's great that, it was 11 months when I was president. I was here many more years before that, and I just
Ready
tell you
to
that the
call the
procedure
vote.
is wrong.
Call for the vote.
I'm sorry, Madam President, really quick, can you
Call
read
for.
it? Can you read it again?
Yes,
Just
you
so I
may
know what I'm
read it
voting
before you
for?
vote.
My apologies, I just want to know what I'm voting for.
Absolutely, that's fair.
Basically, it comes down to that he wants council to vote on whether to go forward with the procedure from where it is at this point. That what was done, and that now we're going to vote to see if that can proceed with the procedure as it is, where the position is as stated, the applications have been received, Personnel Committee is going to review them, then they'll be brought to council, and then the vote. So basically, it's, up until now, everything that was done, it was done. Now, the procedure going forward is to,
I got you. Thank you.
okay.
Council approves of the method and job description as it has been done as of today, as it before performed as of today.
Is there discussion on the motion?
This was it?
I second it.
No, I mean, was that
That was
discussion?
the
Well,
discussion.
that was a discussion so
All right.
far, but I called the question. Do you want to make a last point?
Well, I mean, I hear what Ken's saying, Mr. Kraft, and yeah, we are a board of equals, I say that many times. But we need order. Unlike the executive branch, one guy or woman can say, this is how it is, and when you get up there, this is what we do. And that's how it works. Here, we've got to come up with some way of doing order, some way of keeping order, and you've got to give a great deal of deference to the office of the president of council, because we can't vote on every single thing that comes up that, well, what's this procedure? And we're not going to have, and Mr. Spadoni's even spoken to this, we're not going to have every possible thing written down somewhere in an administrative code, or we're not violating anything. And we don't need permission to do something that, as a council, if somebody has a problem with this, as I've said many times, we have one solicitor. If you disagree with him or you have a problem, go to court, or tell the person who's out there whispering to go to court. I have a big problem with the fact that, Mr. Kraft, I haven't seen the darn applications. Yet somehow there was a clear chain of custody, HR to the clerk, to Ms. Hefner, and somehow it ended up out in the news. Out, somebody, somewhere, and it's a personnel issue. I'm more concerned about that than I am the procedure that you're concerned about. I'm very concerned that a personnel issue like that was leaked, maybe by somebody on council, maybe by somebody else. I'm not mad at the reporter. I'm not mad at the bloggers. That's their job. When they used to be here, they'd come in and go through waste baskets. They're looking for anything. Good for them. But somebody violated, if not the letter, at least the spirit of the law and the regulations of the county. That was terrible to do. It was anti-democratic. And this thing about the people, we don't do that with personnel. We just don't do that, whether it's up here or whether it's out there. And it was wrong, wrong, wrong. I'm glad you got to see I might ask you your opinion then. But I mean, the thing is, I haven't seen them yet. So all I'm saying is, rather than go back and vote to do what? To have people send them in again or something like that? Let's just move forward. I mean, we've got important things to do.
I thought Ms. Hefner called for the vote.
She gave me a chance to speak.
Call for
I
the
asked
vote.
for the vote, no.
Thank you, Ron.
Mr. Heckman,
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni,
Yes.
Ms. Kagan,
No.
Mr. Kraft,
No.
Ms. Fargo Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Warren,
No.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Kapura.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 6-3.
Thank you. Is there any other old business? Moving on to new business. Introduction of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Authorizing the Granting of a Permanent Easement to the City of Easton to Permit the Installation of Stormwater Improvements on a Portion of Lands Owned by the County of Northampton, as described in Deed Book Volume 2000-1, page 035211, and Tax Parcel Number L9SE2D-20-2PKB. May I have someone sponsor this ordinance?
I'll sponsor.
Second sponsor? Mr. Kapura. Public hearing, debate, and possible vote will be held at the May 2nd, 2024 meeting. Next, we have the consideration of the county executive's appointment, reappointments to authorities, boards, commissions, resolution, Area Agency on Aging, Advisory Council, Children, Youth, and Families Advisory Board, Mental Health, Early Intervention, and Developmental Programs Advisory Board. Mr. Giovanni, will you introduce the resolution?
Yes, I will, Ms. President. Area Agency of the Aging Advisory Council, reappointment, Francis Green, Easton, PA, term to expire 6/30/26. Children, Youth, Family Advisory Board, reappointment, Tina Nakata, term to expire, I'm sorry. Get my notes screwed up. Mental Health, Early Intervention and Development Program Advisory Board, appointment, Nikita A. Capasso, Bethlehem, PA, term to expire 4/19/27. Those are the reappointments.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Giovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Heckman.
Yes.
Ms. Kagan. Mr. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Warren,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Kapura.
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
Oh, sorry. Next, we have consideration of county executive's personnel request resolution, Director of Corrections appointment, Michael Pitaro. Mr. Giovanni, will you introduce the resolution?
Yes. Be resolved by by Northampton County Council that Michael Pitaro shall be confirmed in his appointment as Director of Corrections at a pay grade group 6, Step 2B, salary $112,318.54 effective May 10th, 2024.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the matter? Any discussion on the matter? Call for the vote.
Mr. Giovanni,
Yes.
Ms. Kagan.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
No.
Mr. Warren,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
No.
Mr. Capora.
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Mr. Heckman.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 7 to 2. Oh, I'm sorry, adopted by a vote of 7 to 2.
Congratulations. Hopefully God is with you.
Next, we have consideration of Department of Fiscal Affairs updated fee schedule resolution. Mr. Heckman, will you introduce?
Sure. Yeah, it wasn't a bad day today. They said it was going to be cold, but it actually turned out to be pretty nice. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to read the resolution. Whereas Northampton County Ordinance Number 17-79 provides that fees charged by agencies and offices of the County of Northampton shall be set by Northampton County Council by means of a resolution at such times and at such rates as deemed necessary. And the Director of the Department of Fiscal Affairs has requested that the fee schedules for the Department of Fiscal Affairs be upgraded and revised. Now therefore be it resolved by the Northampton County Council that it does hereby concur with the recommendation of the Department of Fiscal Affairs. Further, the attached shall constitute the 2024 fee schedules for the Department of Fiscal Affairs effective July 1st, 2024. And you'll see attached, Mr. Barron gave us a discussion yesterday on this and a presentation, with a lot of information, but you have the breakdown in front of you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Heckman.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft.
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Capora.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Ms. Keegan. Adopted by a vote of 9 to 0.
Thank you. Next, we have consideration of Administrative Code, Article 13, Contract Resolutions, Kinsley Construction Incorporated. Mr. Heckman, please introduce.
Okay. I get so caught up in the fascinating discussions here, I didn't pull my stuff out. All right. Resolution, whereas Northampton County Administrative Code, Article 13, Procurement and Disposition of County Property, Section 13.15, Contracts and Agreements, C2 requires approval of County Council for any contract where costs are to be funded with monies outside of the county's general fund, such as those funded through bonded indebtedness. And whereas on April 9th, 2024, County Council received a request from the county executive for County Council to adopt a resolution, excuse me, approving a contract in the amount of $3,082,000, the shares being 80% state funded, $2 million, I guess I just don't want to spend money, $2,465,600. That would be the state. The county, 20%, $616,400, with Kinsley Construction Incorporated for construction on Bridge 15 Meadows Road over Saucon Creek. Excuse me. Now therefore be it resolved that Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with Kinsley Construction.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Heckman.
Yeah,
Ms.
yes.
Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Capora.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Ms. Keegan. Mr. Kraft. Adopted by a vote of 9 to 0.
Next, we have Professional Construction Contractors, Inc. Mr. Heckman?
This is it. Excuse me. I apologize. I have some things going on. And some folks will be thrilled to know it's beginning to affect my voice. Anyway, thank you. Whereas Northampton County Administrative Code, Article 13, Procurement and Disposition of County Property, Section 13.15, Contracts and Agreements, C2, requires approval of County Council for any contract where costs are to be funded with monies outside of the county's general fund, such as those funded through bonded indebtedness. And whereas on April 5th, 2024, the Northampton County Council received a request from the county executive for county council to adopt a resolution approving a contract in the amount of $808,879 with Professional Construction Contractors, Inc., for a term of 1 year to provide a superstructure replacement to bridge number 74. Now therefore be it resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with Professional Construction Contractors, Inc., and things attached.
Thank you. Is there a discussion on the matter? Call for the vote.
Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Caprara?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Ms. Kiggin? Yes. Mr. Kraft? Yes. Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
And last, we have Traffic Planning and Design, Inc. Mr. Heckman, can you get through it, or do you want me to get somebody?
Absolutely. I'll carry my weight. Whereas Northampton County Administrative Code, Article 13, Procurement and Disposition of County Property, Section 13.15, Contracts and Agreements, C2, requires approval of county council for any contract where costs are to be funded with monies outside of the county's general fund, such as those funded through bonded indebtedness. And whereas on April 9th, 2024, Northampton County Council received a request from the county executive for county council to adopt a resolution approving a contract in the amount of $200,817.44, 80% to be state funded, being $160,653.95, 20% county funded, being $40,163.49, with Traffic Planning and Design, Inc., for inspection of Bridge 15, Meadows Road, over Saucon Creek. Now therefore be it resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with Traffic Planning and Design, Inc. So,
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Heckman?
yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Caprara?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Ms. Kiggin? Mr. Kraft? Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 9-0.
Is there any other new business to discuss? Seeing and hearing none, do we have any county committee reports? Mr. Giovanni?
Yesterday, we had a Courts and Corrections Committee meeting, and in that meeting, Jermaine Green went over the juvenile detention center, saying he has 22 vacancies, and he's having 10 contract personnel fill in, and that things are starting to look good. They're going to have more people for treatments. And that was it for the Courts and Corrections. We also had Personnel and Finance Committee meeting, or Personnel meeting, I'm sorry, and that was how we discussed tonight, the reappointments and appointments from the county executive. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Hackman?
We had a Finance Committee yesterday, the fruits of which you heard tonight and we voted on.
Thank you. This afternoon, we held a Governance Committee meeting in which we discussed the opportunities to revise any public comment opportunities, which at this time we are taking no action. We discussed the Election Commission and its role and function, and thank you to Mr. Vargo for being present and articulating that to us, and that's pretty much it. Thank you. Are there any other? I'm sorry. She,
I have a liaison, but.
I didn't get there yet. Oh, that's right. You had a committee yesterday. Do you want to report on it? There's no report. Thank you. County,
Report for you. Just teasing you. In the committee yesterday, we discussed about the parking garage, for those who weren't here. I don't know if you got your piece of concrete, Ms. Hefner, but I did request it for your office. We discussed a parking lot, the lot out here that's been falling down for the last 25 years, of replacing it with that in an office building. We also discussed other other things that are going on around the council and around the county and where they're at. And the last thing was the P3 bridges. We're down to the last 2 to be done. That should be done this year. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any liaison reports? Mr. Warren?
Thank you, Madam President. Last week, Penn State Agricultural Extension met, had a very robust discussion concerning the Capitol Days, where a group of them went out and talked to state legislators about the funding and the fact that the governor has indicated he's going to be giving them a 5% appropriation within his budget. We'll see what happens with the General Assembly. Gave an update on the 4-H embryonic projects in schools, nutrition education, the vector-borne disease teams, and spotted lanternfly outreach programs, which was a robust discussion as well. Master gardener programs. And something I found interesting is that there is an individual in Lehigh County that can actually track bees with a QR code. Not sure how that works. I felt like I just wanted to bring it up because to me, it's fascinating.
Do they still have the compost? Do they give the
I'm not
compost
sure.
stuff?
That didn't come up.
Can you find out?
Absolutely.
I always take compost, thanks.
Don't tell the election guys that.
There's, and,
These are tracky votes.
oh, please, the bees. Any other
They,
liaison
really-
reports?
Really quick.
Sure.
They also mentioned very
Excuse me.
briefly water quality here or within their service region. And Ms. Keegan, if you don't mind, at some point under your committee, I'd like to bring the Penn State Agricultural Extension in to talk about water quality here in Northampton County, what it looks like, what it means for the future as well. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other liaison, or did you have any more? CCAP board members went to Harrisburg last week to lobby for the 2 priorities of the mental health funding and the juvenile justice funding. You heard some of that yesterday, that they're doing a we're requesting a $15 million ask one time from the legislature to help support the continuance of the juvenile justice centers across the state. And they're asking a $250 million increase above what the governor has requested in the 20 million, because when it breaks down to how much each county actually gets, it's a very minuscule amount, and it will not be able to sustain the functioning that we need. So several people were met with. We met with the Speaker of the House. We met with people on both sides of the aisle to have discussions, Appropriations Committee, and I believe that there's another day in May that we'll be going back because we want to get there before the budget is finalized. If you want to reach out to any of your legislators, and especially senators, because the Senate side is the side that seems to be the stuck point, please do so. And those are the 2 amounts that we're asking for all counties. Thank you. Any other liaison reports? Any clerk report?
Nothing.
Any solicitor report?
No.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye. Are you sure
Thank
you
you.
want to give her that cement block? To throw- I wouldn't give it.